The new letters coming out from the victims of sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein, who are concerned in a different way than so many people who view this case as a political controversy or online content or many of the other ways that it has mushroomed. These are the people who lived through it, the victims and their families. And they say the Trump Justice Department is putting convicted pedophiles and sex traffickers above the victims.
Dear viewer, please remember to like and subscribe so that this video reaches more people. Enjoy watching.
We're going to start right here, and I'm just going to read to you what they're saying. Quote, I feel like the DOJ and FBI priority is protecting the third party, the wealthy men, focusing on scrubbing their names off the files. That's a reference to the reporting about the benefits Donald Trump himself and others may have gotten, of which the victims know who they are. They continue, quote, to learn that our own president has utilized thousands of agents to protect his identity. And these high-profile individuals is monumentally mind-blowing. That's their focus. Wow. The reports are how Donald Trump famously put Epstein conspiracy theorists and other sort of podcasters in charge of the FBI. And remember, the reporting is they spent a lot of time and energy going through the material. And while some of them may have said or claimed they wanted to do that to then release it, remember, nothing's been released. That's why he's accused of a cover-up. But we do have reporting that they also used that time to shield various names. So remember, if you're keeping track of what has been a sordid political story, a lot of the people who claim to care about this story for justice, to go after bad guys like Epstein and his conspirator Maxwell, are now aligned with a government that's doing the opposite, shielding people, giving more secrecy to Maxwell and of course, the deceased Epstein, because while he's gone, the information could still come out and matter to people. And on top of all that, the administration going into the weekend gave leniency to the only incarcerated conspirator. Now the issue's snowballing, and I want to show you a way that it has affected Donald Trump, who is, if nothing else, very conscious and sometimes skilled at PR. He understands the difference between noise and language, wherever it may be in our world, and things that go to the heart of his political base, which he has always kept an eye on. So imagine his concern when someone who's been outspoken in many venues, Charlemagne the God, he's a popular radio host, he interviewed Harris, he's taken on more of a political role over the years, although he's known first and foremost as a New York music radio host, but he also has the show on Comedy Central, he's been on MSNBC. He is someone who goes and talks to all kinds of people. And that may be because a lot of people have seen his voice as important. Clearly Fox News and Donald Trump do, which is the story I'm telling you tonight, because he went on Fox talking to none other than Laura Trump. And so he is speaking with his reach, his credibility, but to the MAGA audience, making headlines, calling out what he sees as a Republican coup in the making over the Epstein issue, which led to a Trump backlash.
I think there's a political coup going on right now in the Republican Party that people aren't paying attention to.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think that this Epstein thing is going to be a way for traditional conservatives to take their party back. This is the issue that has gotten the base riled up. The MAGA base isn't letting this issue go, and for the first time, they know they can, probably take their party back and not piss off the MAGA base. I think they're going to do that.
That's Charlemagne's take. As for who's getting pissed off, well, the president certainly was. He wrote a lengthy diatribe with plenty of personal attacks, going after Charlemagne, calling him names, saying he doesn't know anything about Trump. But the problem goes deeper than just a messenger, so to speak, referring to real evidence out there in a venue that clearly bothered Trump, the Trump hour of Fox there. The wider swath of voters are also concerned. There's new polling out today. 70% of Americans think that there is a client list, and while there may not be, the DOJ claims there isn't. That comes after a long time where Bondi and others literally told everyone there was. More than 60% see Trump as hiding information. That's true. That's the secrecy we've been reporting on. And a whopping 81% blame Trump for the way that the administration or others are hiding the info. In other words, the dance that we hear politicians sometimes do apparently isn't working on most of the public. 81% includes a heck of a lot of Trump voters. Top Republicans are also concerned about that story going into the weekend, where this administration, which rode a wave of outrage over Epstein, is now giving leniency to his only incarcerated conspirator, Maxwell. So she was moved to that minimum security prison, Epstein victims were outraged. Why, of anyone in the entire prison system, in their view, should this convicted sex trafficker who worked with Epstein get leniency right now, get a nicer prison environment, which, by the way, if you're a prisoner, that's one of the biggest major changes in your life you can get other than getting sprung out, is getting to a better, sometimes safer prison. She got to a minimum security facility that, under DOJ rules, people convicted of her crimes shouldn't even be allowed to be in, which makes it very suspicious. Now, Republican senators, who famously go along with just about everything Trump does, including things that they had previously opposed, say this whole Maxwell thing has gone far enough. They are publicly urging Trump not to pardon her. To even have that conversation is a type of indictment. Think about the ethics of pardoning a convicted sex trafficker if there's no new evidence or substantive reason. Trump is not ruling it out, which is why they are warning in public. And so the Epstein panic, from the substance, what I read to you from the victims and their families, to the politics, Charlemagne and the polling, to the ethics, again, of a world where the people who claim justice for Epstein are now aligned with a president who's helping an Epstein conspirator and sex trafficker. We turn to Michelle Goldberg, who has been reporting and writing about this for some time for the New York Times, MSNBC analyst. Your view about this story and how it continues with the substantive help to Maxwell. She's been upgraded.
Dear viewer, please remember to like and subscribe so that this video reaches more people. Enjoy watching.
It's so astonishing. And I mean, I feel like so many astonishing things happen in this rolling catastrophe of an administration that we lose track of it. But how quickly we have moved from Trump is going to blow the lid off on the Epstein conspiracy to Trump is going to both, sort of do favors for Epstein's chief conspirator. And now the idea of a pardon is out there in the ether. It's really astonishing. And I think the question then becomes, first of all, why this transfer, which nobody has even given the ghost of an explanation for. And then what is Trump hiding, right? Because all of this is happening when Ghislaine Maxwell, there still is a possibility that she could be subpoenaed to testify before Congress. So first you have Trump sending his former private attorney, now a Justice Department official, to speak to her for hours on end. Then she gets this inexplicable transfer. And again, I'm somebody who didn't necessarily think that there was something terribly incriminating about Donald Trump in these files, but he is doing his best. I mean, on the one hand, he says he wants this story to go away. He wants people to stop talking about it, but he obviously doesn't want that enough not to make, or for his administration not to make these moves that, at least on the surface, look extraordinarily incriminating.
Trump has once again attempted to play chess with the law, but unfortunately he cannot even play at the level of checkers. He struck deals with 9 major law firms, but 4 of them said, "Sorry, we're not dogs. We are not dogs. We have no intention of licking the stick," and went to court and they all won. What did Trump do? He didn't even object, because he knows that the truth will come out in these cases and that his strong leader balloon is hollow. But as Reuters report shows, his goal isn't to win. It's to intimidate, demoralize, and subdue. And unfortunately, it's worked. Major law firms have withdrawn their pro bono support simply because someone like Trump frowned upon it. Isn't that wonderful? The American legal system is being sacrificed to one man's ego trips, but there is a silver lining in every cloth. According to a New York Times report, 2 former Justice Department lawyers fired by Trump have started a brand new law firm with just 4 people. Imagine that they were fired by Trump but didn't say, "Oh, this will cause trouble." Instead, they divide the judiciary by saying, "We won't let this go." What is their goal? To limit Trump's powers by bringing precedent-setting cases to the Supreme court. In other words, to stand firm with the law against Trump's desire to ban and twist constitutional lines. Large firms are obsessed with power, while small teams are fighting for democracy. It's clear who has the card. And this is where things get interesting. The Trump administration is not only at war with political decisions, but with the legal profession itself. Complaints about professional ethics against the FCC chairman, disciplinary actions against lawyers trying to overturn the 2020 elections, lawsuits against Justice Department lawyers who made false statements. And this is no longer a simple political disagreement, but a direct confrontation with the rule of law. But the most striking thing is this: even if Trump loses, he acts as if he's winning. Because every lie, every lawsuit, every act of bullying changes the rules of the game. Even the entire legal system sometimes wonders, should we back down? But groups like the Legal Accountability Center say, no brother, this country is governed by the Constitution, not Twitter.